It is my pleasure to introduce a Harvard graduate who went on to create HUHS Foundation, which has raised almost $3 million to help hundreds of athletes from over 30 states who have suffered mobility-limiting injuries. In case you are curious of how Roy's foundation got its name, Roy high-fived the surgeon who saved his life. Ladies and gentlemen, it is a pleasure to introduce Roy Tuscany.
Hi everybody, how we doing?
Hey Roy.
What an absolute honor. I got to be where you guys were in 1999, last class of that century, or whatever it's supposed to be. Lacrosse! One more time for lacrosse! All right, I'm going to try to talk to you guys. I'm going to ignore this part. This is all for you, okay? Abraham Lincoln once said, "Give me 6 hours to chop down a tree, and I'll spend the first 4 hours sharpening the axe." What does that mean? Well, it speaks to the next part of your life. It is telling you something. To develop the most important set of tools that you guys could ever have so that you can stand out, so that you can excel in all fields of life. You must have a special set of tools so that you can stand out. And right now, you're probably saying, what tools could I have gotten from here? What tools could I have gotten from high school? Well, I'll tell you what, it's the fundamental tools of life are found within these hallways, the classrooms of this school right here. Now, you're probably saying, no, guys, this is only high school. All right, well, let's try this quote. "Please truth and eliminate what is false." This is the quote and the daily mantra of a guy by the name of Mr. David Vavora, Mr. Irrelevant from the NFL. Last pick in 2008. Last pick in the draft. You're not supposed to play football when you're the last pick. It's mostly a hype thing. Well, David didn't believe that, and he believed that daily mantra of please the truth and eliminate what is false. The truth that he believed was to play football, and he did. He started that year, the only Mr. Irrelevant ever to start a season in the NFL. And that's just like you guys. You were starting on your next journey in life. And where are you guys going to go? Wherever you want. Because the tools that you have developed here are going to set you up for life. And how do I know that? Well, because the two most important tools that I have in my toolbox came from right here at Harwood. The first one is grit. You guys know what grit is? I learned that from Kerrigan's Army.
Yeah.
Strength of character was developed while running under the coaching of Mr. John Kerrigan. He taught us how to out-grit our competition. When we trained here at Harwood, we trained harder than anybody else. And when we got on the trails, we ran faster than anybody else when we were the state champs in 1999. That right there, when people ask, how did I overcome a life-altering injury, a spinal cord injury that left me paralyzed from the belly button down, it came from the idea of grit. And each and every one of you in this class already has grit. You guys have overcome, and you already have that tool. So never forget grit. It will push you through the hard points in life. Now, this is a word that's going to come up a little bit more in this speech, a little bit more. How about this word, courtesy? Where did I learn courtesy here? Miss Stahl's English class. I got choked up on that one. You could not walk into that classroom and try to not be courteous. If you did, you were instantly told to leave. This word right here is something that I want you guys to think about, and we're going to talk about it a little bit more. But courtesy is a word that has been forgotten from the English language. And if we continue to use courtesy in our daily actions, our world will only become better. Courtesy and grit are the benchmarks of my success in the creation of my mark in the world. But I ask you all today, what will your mark be? It might not be clear right now, but a moment in your life could help define the mark that you all will leave behind. I use a quote from Bob Marley. The greatness of a man is not in how much wealth he acquires, but in his integrity and ability to affect those around him positively. My idea in life, my mark, was the creation of a foundation called HUHS. In 2006, I was an aspiring pro skier. Right here, I learned to ski right in the hills here at Sugarbush. And then I moved out west, and I wanted to become the best skier in the world. Well, on April 29, 2006, I went 130 feet on a 100-foot jump. I came down from 30 feet in the air and burst fractured my T12 vertebrae into my spine. I was instantly paralyzed from the belly button down and had no idea what was the next step in my life. But I knew through what I learned here at school, having grit, I knew I could overcome the prognosis that the doctors gave me that maybe one day I'd walk again. But I also knew that this amazing community here in the Mad River Valley, spearheaded by Vermont North Ski Shops, which raised over $20,000 to pay for a helicopter ride that got me a plane ride to the hospital, and then the communities out in Lake Tahoe, that over this fund of $85,000 that was raised so I could be here standing in front of all you here today, that I had to pay it forward. Paying it forward is the most important thing that we can do in our world. I knew that those individuals helped me, but other individuals would fall into the same shoes that I did. And why not try to help others? So in 2009, I created HUHS Foundation, which supports the dreams of mountain action sports athletes through injury prevention awareness while providing resources and inspiration to those that have suffered life-altering injuries. We've helped 194 individuals from 32 states across the country get through the recovery process so that they can live the most positive life possible. That's my mark. That right there. And I know each and every one of you 128 graduating students has the capabilities, the drive, and the grit to be able to create a mark that's just as powerful or bigger than that. So I say, you guys, what will your mark be? I want to talk about honoring. Honoring is something that I believe is another thing that we miss. On Memorial Day weekend, I was in Dallas, Texas, and I got to do an event called Carry the Load, which honors those that serve us all on a higher level by the continuum of those individuals throughout the path of your life. Carry the Load is a way to remember veterans that have served our country and passed away. Before that night, because of my injury, I'd never walked more than 6.5 miles. But walking that night, seeing the faces of others that have served our country, I was able to walk 10.5 miles that night, honoring those that served this great nation. Why? Grit. I'm going to continually go back to that, guys. Grit. You've got it all. Every single one of you here today. I like the number 5, and so with that, I want to give you 5 things to take away from today. First one is, there's no unicorn farm, guys. It doesn't exist. You can't go to a farm, pick a unicorn, and ride it for the day and have a great day on that unicorn. It doesn't exist. Don't anticipate anybody giving you anything in life. Make everything for yourselves, and you guys have the tool set to do that. Do you guys know how to properly high five? Lift the elbow. So everybody right now, pick a partner in the audience. Liz, pick your husband Dan. Look at his elbow and give a high five. Now, what just happened right there when we all high-fived?
You smiled.
We exchanged positivity. We laughed. We had fun. So when you have those moments of doubt, give a high five to someone right next to you. Every single time, it'll make you positively charged. I want to make sure that you guys remember to always honor those. Honor those that serve you. Honoring other people is the greatest gift by saying, thank you for what you did. Don't ever forget that. Make sure you have the sharpest tools in your life of toolboxes. I'm choking up a little bit. I love you. Sorry, Dan. And last, guys, this is the most important one of the whole thing. Every single day that you guys wake up, say to yourself, how can I define the word courtesy through my actions? Every day. Wake up and say, today, I'm going to use my actions to define the word courtesy in an outward presence. If y'all do that, we're going to do amazing things in this world, because you're already amazing people, and you have an amazing life ahead of you. Congratulations, guys. You guys are absolute all-stars. Thank you so much.
Wow, thank you.